There are over 610 different Fairtrade communities around the UK, bringing an element of Fairtrade to their different areas, and it's a pleasure to be here in Hinckley today to talk about what makes Fairtrade different and why it's so important.
I was invited to talk about the business that I run in Leicester. We are Just Fairtrade Limited. We're a workers' co-op social enterprise. So I talked a little bit about how our business was set up 15 years ago and how it works now, and what the difference between a social enterprise and an ordinary business is, and what that looks like in our business.
We had a fantastic group of young people from Redmoor Academy here today, and basically back in March, which seems ages ago now, I went into school, talked a little bit about Fairtrade as part of Fairtrade Fortnight, and the young people, again, you know, they're more clued up than people think are young people today, and they know all about Fairtrade and what it was and the purpose of it and why it means so much. And then the following week, as part of their tutor groups, we challenged them to come up with a social enterprise involving Fairtrade. So it was quite an involved thing really for them to get their heads around, but they did it brilliantly. Social enterprises are not quite charities, they're not quite businesses, they fall somewhere in between. And they came up with fantastic ideas of Fairtrade computer games, which is brilliant. I love that idea. Fairtrade beauty salons using various Fairtrade goods, which were just fantastic.
There are so many different ways that you can engage with Fairtrade, and it's a really important thing for the community to come together and talk about it together.
You've got activists, people who are from churches, they're from Gurdwara, they're from schools, from universities. They're from one of the 350 town and city groups around the UK. They come together in solidarity, really, with people in the developing world who are eking out a living and trying to improve their lives and improve the lives of their communities. So today is a celebration of that, but it's also actually about sharing stories and understanding better the mechanism of how Fairtrade commodities compare to non-Fairtrade commodities and why people are making a difference by buying them.
As a business, well, we have three main objectives. One of them is to be enthusiastic and talk about Fairtrade and tell the stories about what a difference Fairtrade can make and why it's worth buying Fairtrade products when you've got that choice. So we go into schools and run events and work with other people, like this event here today. Our second objective, which I suppose is key, is actually making money, as in selling the products. So our important thing is to sell products, because it's all well and good people working in Fairtrade, but if they haven't got a market to sell it, they're stuffed. So we have a shop in Leicester City Centre, and we sell a lot of fairly traded products to people from Leicester and the wider community who come into Leicester. And we do it in such a way to make a bit of profit so that we can keep going and investing into the future. So that's our second one. And then our third objective is around how we do it as a workers' co-op, making sure that the people that we work with here in the UK feel valued and involved and encouraged to grow and develop while they're working with us.
And obviously we all look for an increase in opportunity for our farmers in the developing world. Whatever products it is that they're producing, whether they're producing Fairtrade tea, Fairtrade coffee, whatever the commodity, it could be fruit, whatever it is that they're creating, bananas, whatever else. What we want for them is a changed world, a changed environment.
I talked about why, a kind of personal story really, about why Fairtrade is important to me, and basically to summarise that, it's because of the social value of Fairtrade, the fact that as well as being paid a fairer wage as a result of people buying Fairtrade, those folks in the developing world, those growers and farmers, get to put their children through school thanks to the pupil premium, to build new infrastructure such as roads and bridges, etc. in their communities, and to just have better lives and to be able to lead dignified lives. And that is all because they get paid a fairer price for the hard work and the toil that they do go through every day to make sure we have, you know, the coffee and the tea and the bananas and the sugar and all the rest of it. More than 4,000 Fairtrade products now available.
Do you know, we sell a huge range of products, and actually it makes me laugh when I list them, because I think of the shop and I think, how do we fit it all in? So we do sell the food products that people are used to seeing in the supermarkets, the coffee, tea and sugar and chocolate, but we also sell clothes, we sell jewellery, we sell greetings cards, We sell recycled aluminium and glassware, photo frames, wooden products, baskets, rugs, cushions. Yeah, so a lot of, and toys, lots of toys, wooden toys, soft toys, a huge variety actually.
The other side of this coin, by the way, is local. And none of this is at the expense of local, because none of the fair trade business that we're talking about here in any way undermines local. We're all supporters of local, whether it's local dairies, producers of local cheeses and things. None of those things are available as fair trade, and that's specifically because we don't want to compete between these two different groups of commodities. Fair trade commodities are all about international commodities grown in the developing world. And it's actually about returning back to them a fair day's pay for a fair day's work.
My personal motivation was because I have a Christian faith, and in the Christian faith, like most of the faiths, there's a strong, we're called to care about justice and the poor. And so that made sense. I had the privilege of living in Tanzania for a few years, and I think I glimpsed poverty when I was there, and I saw what a difference having a job and being paid fairly for the work you do can make in the developing world. So when I came back to the UK, I knew about this thing called fair trade, and I realised that you could put on fun events and activities and it would be a bit of a laugh, and so that's what I started doing, and then almost by accident I ended up setting up a business.
What I'd say to you about any cause that you might pursue is, never stop fighting for what you believe in, keep going, and you can achieve change and change the world.
Here we're asking for people to engage, to get involved. There's no barrier. This is an alliance of the willing. This is all about getting the community involved here on the ground with the community overseas. And during Fairtrade Fortnight, we bring over the fair trade growers and farmers to come and meet these communities. So there's an opportunity to meet the farmers themselves and talk to them about what their experiences are, how they deal with medical care, how they deal with school for their children, and how they build a life for themselves in developing countries. It's a tough life for them, but while we hope through our work that it will be a little easier.
Although I've sort of bought fair trade products before, I've learnt more about it today, and so I should be telling my friends and family more about it, and I should be visiting the shop to be able to buy gifts for my family, hopefully for birthdays and Christmas, and spread the good word around.